All right, so this is the new bottle that I bought to fill up my smaller bottle, which goes in here. So I actually tested it last night, and so far everything is working correctly, but I am going to refill the bottle tonight, and this is pretty much the setup. So as of right now, I have a 10-pound bottle in here, which is full right now, and I have a high flow valve, and then I have a 4AN fitting connected to it, and I also have a 4AN end, and this is the one that I use when, or this is the one you should be using when you're taking your bottle to get filled in one of your, nitrous filling station. In my case, I am managing my refills to my smaller bottle, and the reason why I needed to get this set up is just because I think I covered it before, but I need any refill station is not gonna be filling up my 12 ounces bottle because it's too small. So they will be willing to fill up my 10-pound. So I'm filling my 10-pound, and then I'm managing the refills at home. So in order for me to do that, I bought this line. I don't have a pump, but I have my bottle in my freezer right now since last night, and it has maybe about an ounce worth of nitrous inside. So I'm just gonna go ahead and bring the bottle right now. I'm just going to connect it to here. I'm going to get this one to fill up my other one. I'm just going to connect it to to the connection on the motorcycle right now, and then what's gonna happen is I'm going to be opening up the valve, and then I'm just gonna check all the connections with soapy water, I guess in here, closer to the air box. Same for in the area where the solenoids are, and then when they connect to the purge, as well as the solenoid that is actually the one responsible for feeding the connections to the air box. So I have my label in here because I wanted to point out a couple things. So I guess it was not super clear to me that in terms of the weight. So this is the sheet that Dynoteam provides, so you can stick it on your bottle. For now, I think I'm just gonna keep it. I'm not sure if I'm going to put it on since I don't have to take it to any race shop. So long story short, if you look at the bottle, you'll see that mine is 12 ounces. So this is what the capacity of the bottle, and then this is the weight of the bottle when it's empty. So this is very important because this is the information you're gonna be using when you're filling up your bottle. So I have a scale where I'm going to be putting my bottle on top of, which is gonna give me the weight of the bottle, and it's gonna tell me whether or not how much nitrous I have on it. If it weighs more than 2 pounds, that's how much nitrous it's inside, and that's a good way for me to understand how much it's gonna hold. As of right now, I don't have a gauge, so for now I'm just gonna maybe put 2-3 ounces in the system on the bottle, and then I'm just gonna open it up, and when I open the valve on it, I'm just gonna pressurize the system. That way I can check all the connections with soapy waters, look for leaks. If there's any leaks, try to fix them. And if there's no leaks, I'll be super happy. And then I'm just gonna be able to start putting back my bike together just so I can do a pass. And finally, if you guys remember, this is where my purge valve is. So I'm just gonna check this connection as well, and then check all the connections in the. All right, so I'm going to do this single-handed, see how this goes, basically. And I apologize, I'm sick. But basically, I just pulled the bottle from the freezer, so it's like super cold, and the other one is, room temperature. It's been in my garage for a while, and it was about 80 degrees today. So I have my scale, and I'm just gonna set my scale to pounds and ounces, and I'm just gonna see it's 0. I'm just gonna place it on top, and it's 1 pound, 0.5, which is kind of crazy because it says that it was like the empty weight was like 2 pounds. So let me just do this again. Let me just take this. So we're talking 21 ounces. That's like 1.5 pounds, which is about the same amount I had before. So, okay, that sounds, I guess that's a number we're gonna go with. So, important thing with this is kind of backwards, based on what I remember. So normally when you have when you have this, you want to connect the bottle to this, and you want to make sure that it's open like this, like it's completely like open, meaning counterclockwise fully. So I'm now going to take the bottle. Okay, so I have the bottle in here, and what I'm going to do is just to twist the bottle. And super important, this is completely counterclockwise. So remember, this is a pin, and although normally you feel like when it's counterclockwise completely, it's that means that it's open, meaning like the nitrous is gonna be flowing. It's quite the opposite in this. So when I go clockwise, sorry for all the shakiness, the pin is actually getting inserted, and when the pin gets inserted, it's actually pushing down onto the bottom, which means that that's the position when it's going to be releasing the nitrous from the bottle. So I completely put it back in position, meaning like completely counterclockwise. I'm just going to put it on top, and now I'm going to twist this. I'm sorry, you were not able to see it. So I'm going to twist. It's pretty smooth. So now I'm just going to grab this in here. It's kind of difficult because I'm doing this with only one hand. Okay, so making sure that it's completely so perfect. Still going. Okay, so now it's completely tightened. This is tightened already, and this is closed. This valve is closed. So now this one is completely closed. This valve is completely closed as well. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to open. One thing that I'm going to check is, now that I have the connection on it, so there's weight added because of this and the line, and then the pressure that this is making against the scale. So if I look, now I have about 1.1 pounds or 1.11, I guess, kind of thing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remember that I had, it was like 2 pounds empty. So this is only 1 pound. Just go ahead and make sure. So this is 27 ounces, 16 ounce, so almost like 2 pounds. So what I'm going to do, I'm just gonna put 3 I guess ounces of worth of nitrous, and this actually holds 12 ounces. So I'm gonna zero it out. Now it's at 0, and now I'm gonna open the mother. And you can hear the nitrous flowing. You can see the weight, 6 ounces, perfect. So I'm just gonna stop. It's closed. And all right, so somehow I stopped recording. So you probably missed the portion when I was relieving some of the pressure from the line, which is fine. I was just cracking this hose completely off, just so I can relieve some of the pressure between this bottle and this bottle. And releasing some of the nitrous that was trapped on this line. So I did that, and now the whole purpose of this is just so you can take this bottle to a refill station, or just to do exactly what we're doing right now. So now this is completely counterclockwise, so which means it's not inserting the pin on the bottle. So now I can just like safely remove this in here. Let me just see if I can do it with my both hands pretty quick. So let me do this. I relieve all the pressure, so it should be fine now. So I should not be getting any pressure now. Perfect. So now the pin is not inserted, and one thing I'm going to do is, just now that I have the bottle completely, by itself, without this, I think we weighed the bottle before, and I think it was like 20 some ounces. So if I were to, I'm gonna put it back in 0, I'm just gonna weigh the bottle now, and now it's like 29 ounces, which is 1 pound 13 ounces. So I think I have, I don't know, I don't know, just a couple of like ounces, which is great. That's all I wanted. So now, it's important that in here, let me just move the other nitrous bottle out of the way. So what I want to do now is, remember, completely counterclockwise. That's when it's not releasing any nitrous. So that's what I want. It's completely counterclockwise. It doesn't go anymore. Last night I actually tightened up this hexagonal I have in here. So now I'm twisting bottle. Okay, I have to. Sorry, it was not in the thread. So now, perfect. Cool. It's completely on. So now this is when the magic happens. So now I'm going to start twisting, and when the pin actually pushes the pin on the nitrous, then nitrous is gonna start flowing through the lines, and you're gonna be able to hear. So I'm just gonna stay quiet. Yep. Do you hear that? Perfect. So now, first test I'm going to do is I'm gonna remove this from here, and I'm going to flow some nitrous to the airbox. That's gonna be the first test. I'm just gonna put the ignition. I'm gonna make sure that my arming button is in nitrous, and I'm just gonna hit the horn. Woo! Perfect. So now I have nitrous coming out of this. And now I'm just gonna hit the purge, and let me just put the camera on the purge. See if we can see it. Oh, this is amazing. This is really amazing. Let me just put this in here. I apologize for the sound, but that was the okay. I'm not trying to be fancy with the background. I just want to not to have a lot of distraction from all the stuff that I have here. So now, let me just do this. I'm gonna do the purge so you can see. Let me see it from afar. Whew, this is amazing. I love it. So cool. So now we know we have pressure. I don't have a gauge, so eventually there's gonna be a gauge. It's gonna be here, so I know how much pressure I have in my bottle. This is an 1,800 pound of pressure bottle. So now I have my soapy water. So what I want to do is just to spray and look for leaks. Okay, doesn't seem like there's anything there. Actually, let me just turn off the ignition. The system is open. Oh, so that means there's a leak here. Potentially. I don't see anything. I don't see bubbles. I'm not sure, maybe that's just, I guess, so I had nitrous before. I've never had nitrous. Oh wow, I just, all the soap that I just like pour on top of like this just like completely froze. That's so amazing. This nitrous is crazy. Anyway, I wanted to check that because I don't know if, yeah, I don't see any bubbles. And now, so anyway, I thought there was bubbles because there was like a lot of like condensation, but maybe that's just the how it is because of the nitrous coming out of the purge. So I guess something I'm learning, but there's no bubbles, and this is completely open. I'm just gonna squirt a little bit. I don't want to go crazy, but at the same time, I don't want to be that guy waiting for nitrous and maybe nothing is coming out because there's a bunch of like nitrous relieving. So yeah, actually, there's not a whole lot of bubbles. I'm so happy about that. That's awesome. Okay, and now I'm just going to spray here. Sorry, I was focusing my hand instead of the. Okay, nothing. And I'm just gonna put in here a little bit. Nothing. Good. Right. So this is pretty awesome. So by the way, the reason why I still have this in here is because I was just waiting for this moment, and I'm coming back with a vacuum making sure that I have, like, I clean all my runners, making sure like there's nothing in there, stuff such as like this leaving in my airbox are not good. I wanted to see if there's like, I had a leaky solenoid or something like that, so it doesn't seem like that's the case, which is awesome. This is amazing. I'm loving it. So seems like, I mean, I'm gonna do it one more time, but I don't see any bubbles, and I used everything they recommended for this. I'm gonna just do this one more time. No bubbles in here. Pretty happy about that. No bubbles on the bottle. Where the gauge is gonna go, and then in here, no bubbles either. So this is amazing. I'm super excited. I almost feel like I know how to install like Nitrous systems. That's awesome. All right, cool. So let's see what is the situation here. Oh my goodness. This is crazy. Like, this is super cool, and I'm not sure this is normal. Like, can anybody tell me? Like, this is crazy. I just don't know if maybe because of the amount of like nitrous coming out, this is just there's a lot of like condensation. Let's see. So what I was gonna do, one more test. So now I'm just gonna try this again, which I'm super excited about. So again, test horn. Now nitrous. You can see the nitrous on the line. Amazing. And then finally the purge. This is awesome. This is too much. I'm super excited. All right. So that means that this is working. So I'm super excited. I almost feel like I know what I'm doing. I guess that's the price you get when you spend time reading. You spend time just, on the instructions, kind of making sure that you're, aware of, what's happening and everything that you need to do to be successful, not rushing. Like I used to rush everything I used to do, and I used to break parts and like get frustrated and whatever. And honestly, I already missed like, I don't know, maybe 2 months, like super nice of like actual racing. So at the track. So I'm bummed about that, but at the same time, I'm super excited that I'm coming with something new. So I'll give it a try again. So long story short, I got a new counter sprocket for the front, and I'm just gonna make another change on the gearing in the back. And I think the bike is just gonna go back together. And the last thing I'm going to do is to lower the bike a little bit more. So I have my T-Rex blocks to lower the bike. So right now they are at 1 3/4 of an inch at the front and in the back. So I think I'm just gonna go full, almost like 3. I think it's like 2 3/4. I think is what it is. So I'm just gonna do that. In order to do that, I have to mess with the kickstand, because at this point I'm still on the original one, on the OEM one, and still sitting too tall. It's not at a point where it's like tipping, but it's at a point where if I go lower, I have to do something, because the bike is not gonna be able to stay upright. It's just gonna fall over. So I'm gonna be working on that. And so I'm really happy that you guys can enjoy this. Like I said before, I do this just so I can have fun with what I have, but at the same time, I would love to like answer questions of like people having questions about nitrous, yes, no, whatever. So there's more to it. Right now, this is just a dry shot system going straight from the horn, meaning like I'm activating it manually. So I have to be very careful. Ideally, my next step will be, even before I make the first pass, but I'm not gonna make any promises, but ideally what I'm thinking that should happen is I should get a window switch, or maybe a wide open throttle switch, or there is I want to say this Innovate has a wideband gauge where it has an automatic shut off, where you can specify the mixture, the mixture, how lean it's your threshold, and when it gets to that point, automatically turns off it's gonna shut off my solenoid. So it's gonna go back to be a normal bike running on gas without the induction of the nitrous. So that's something that I'm thinking about. All those systems are super expensive. I think the one from Innovate, I think it's about $350 just for the watch, or not the watch, I'm sorry, just for the gauge, and which it sounds like a lot, but I guess it's cheaper than I'm blowing my engine on my first pass. If something happens and my jet doesn't work, and all of a sudden I'm putting like 100 shot instead of 15 horsepower or whatever. So long story short, those are the plans. I'm hoping to do that, but I'll be working on the bike this Saturday just so I can put it back together, and then I can just go and make my first pass, and then you guys are going to get my first impressions of like running a nitrous bike in the streets or in at the track as soon as possible. So thank you for watching the video. If you have any questions, please just send me questions. I'll be more than happy to share, my knowledge. I'm not an expert, but at least the system is proving to be installed correctly. So I'll be more than happy to help with that, and also to help with, any questions in terms of refilling. I'm not an expert, but I'm going through it. And if I can help you with answering any questions that I'm going to prevent you from making mistakes, I'll be more than happy to do that. That'll make me very happy. So thank you for watching the video. Appreciate it. Bye-bye.